Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Yoga with Anna, our midweek reset here at the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We are back at the headquarters here at 63 Washington Street. Again, check out our events page at pcsnm.org. I think I got that right. But we are online, so we are back here. I am back here. And I'm so grateful to be back. Maine was amazing, and it's so wonderful to be able to get an opportunity to step away from my mat and experience connection differently, and be surrounded by people you love. So I'm so grateful to be back here on our mat at the church, and of course, I brought back my book, The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo, and I wasn't going to read today, but when I read the poem under today's date and what he wrote, I thought that I would share it because I think that it's something that we often experience, sometimes an awareness that in an exchange of conversation with someone, there's an awareness that we sometimes don't bring in. And so let me share the poem. I know it sounds a little dark. It's going to sound a little dark, but there's a point to it. And of course, it always ends up in the light, which is my intention, to keep us in the light and keep our vibration high. All right, so it goes a little something like this for August 2nd. And I won't read the whole thing. I will keep it a little bit shorter so we can get into our practice. So it's called The Mermaid, and it's written by William Butler Yeats. A mermaid found a swimming lad, picked him for her own, pressed her body to his body, laughed, and plunging down, forgot in cruel happiness that even lovers drown. So I will read the beginning, his intro to his explanation and connection to this poem, which I do think is beautiful and is very interesting, how in the passion of what we feel, we can bring others down with us or take them into a place where we haven't been or where they haven't been. So he says, we want so badly to share our innermost experience with our loved ones. But often, like the mermaid, we forget that not everyone can go where we go. Indeed, we all share this mysterious fact that no one else can go into our depth completely. We must travel there alone. It is where we commune with God, or Source, or our Creator, or our universe. The lad can visit the mermaid's depth, but can't live there, or he will drown. And the mermaid can visit the lad's life on land, but can't stay there, or she will suffocate. We must, each of us, return to our inmost element in order to survive. Frequently, we judge each other for not coming along, even take such an inability as rejection, when in fact, if we are kept out of our native element too long, we will suffocate or drown. The living terrain of relationship actually exists in the overlap of our inmost natures. The mermaid and lad return to embrace where the deep and air meet. It is the mermaid's responsibility of love to bring her treasures to the surface where they can be shared, and the lad's obligation to rinse his treasures in their common surf. In this way, every authentic relationship becomes a home where we return from our solitary communions with the divine. Never was, okay, I'm reading the whole thing. Never, because it's just beautiful. Never was this clearer to me than when Wheeling and my partner of 20 years, remember he was the one that was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer when he was young. So never was this clearer to me than when wheeling and my partner of 20 years to the operating room where she would have surgery for cancer. Okay, so he had a partner who also had cancer. I went as far as I could and watched her grow smaller through the glass door. I realized then that whether it be our quarrel with the divine or with dead partners or with limitations of our humanity, each of us must go beyond the glass doors of our experience alone. And that's why I wanted to read it. And the work of compassion is to guide our dear ones as far as we can and to be there when they return. But no one can go beyond the glass doors for us or with us. On land or at sea, entangled in community or independent in isolation, we all share this essential aloneness. And in the journey between the depths and the heights that nourish our souls and the touch of others that keeps us sane, we are humbled into the miracle of love. So how could I have not read that, right? Because it all comes down and circles back to love, the highest vibration. And of course, in that desire and joy of feeling love and opening our hearts, sometimes we forget about the journey that we have taken, the arduous journey that we have taken in order for us to be there. So, and sometimes when we commune and talk about our journeys with other people, sometimes we expect them to understand, and when they don't, we become judgmental. So our journey is our own, and no one can step into that journey but ourselves, and sometimes that does feel lonely. But we need those kind of experiences in order for us to be here and share the experience of love once we feel like we end up where we are or what we want to share or experience this amazing thing and we want to share it with others. But sometimes those experiences are our own, and that's okay. And that happens a lot in this journey, where we experience a lot of the things through our practice, through the work that we do, the spiritual work that we do, the dealings and the processing of our traumas. So that's why I wanted to read it, because no one can experience your trauma. No one is going to know how you felt through your trauma but you. And that's what makes it feel lonely. But knowing that you are not alone in the journey and that you are always accompanied by the love and the support by others as well, of people that support you. But even those people that support you may not always know what that feels like. And that's okay. The work is in doing the work, in allowing yourself to go through your journey. And it's your own authentic journey, and neither you or the other person or friends can come into this place of judgment. They can. But know that and they are in another place of experience. And so that's where you're going to sometimes run into these places of judgment. But be knowing that you are authentic and grounded in your own place and your own experiences, and knowing that other people aren't going to be aware of what you're going through or what you have experienced to get you here. And that's okay, because they're on their own journey as well. And what's beautiful about that is sometimes when your loved ones do end up doing the work or end up doing something that allows them at some point to come back and say, wow, now I know where you're coming from, is a beautiful experience. But we have to allow ourselves and them to get to that place. So let's begin by grounding in and feeling our bottoms nice and supported. And maybe if you want to, you're already seated in a chair or on your mat, and lengthening the crown towards the sky, softening your gaze or closing your eyes, allowing your shoulders to soften, to release any of the tension of the beginning of this week. Allowing you to sense your own authenticity, your own groundedness. Allowing your breath to settle your mind and come to your heart. Our heart is our home. The Anahata chakra radiating in a beautiful swirl of green as we open our hearts through this practice today. It is through this grounding that we reach our authenticity. So let's take a moment here to set an intention for our practice. Maybe bringing our hands in Anjala Mudra at the heart center. And taking a nice deep breath in when you're ready. Slow exhale out. And swallowing at the back of our throats. Releasing the hands. Good afternoon and namaste. Let's begin by lengthening, taking that nice deep breath, and let's begin to move the body around. Inhaling and exhaling as we begin to rotate the body. And then going the opposite direction when you're ready to go there. And then coming back to center, cat-cow on the inhale. Let's warm up our spines, take the heart forward and the gaze back, up to the sky. And on the exhale, chin's going to move the chest and we're going to round in. Inhale, lead with the heart, shoulders back, take the gaze upwards. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding in, tucking the tail. Continue for a few more breaths. Syncing your inhale and your exhale. Inhaling as you extend. Exhaling as you round in. And then coming back to center. Let's take the left ear to the left shoulder. And then bring the head back to center. Right ear comes to right shoulder. Oh, I'm mirror teaching again. Come back to center. So any side, right ear to right shoulder. And then let's take the nose to the right shoulder. And then take a nod here, a little yes. And then just notice the stretch that you're getting on the left side of the neck. And feel how that muscle attaches to the shoulder, maybe the tension in the shoulder. Allowing this movement to release. Take a nice deep breath in. Lower the nose, bring it across the chest, and we come up the other side. And then take the nose towards the shoulder. Take a nod. Nice deep breath in, lower the nose, bring it across the chest. We come up the other side, little circles with the nose. And then opposite direction. Beautiful. Let's inhale both arms up, stretch up, and then let's begin to climb. Let's pull one rope and then the other, giving a little climbing, so drawing one shoulder back. Put your ribcage stretching up and then drawing down. And then release the hands, reach up to the sky, and then begin to rotate the wrists and float the arms down. Shake them out. Ground that left hand in, right arm comes up and over the right ear. Lengthen through the fingertips, maybe taking the gaze up towards the bicep. Nice deep breath in and opposite side. Left arm's going to reach over. Nice deep breath in, maybe gazing straight ahead or towards the bicep, and then gently coming all the way down. Let's flow to the left side. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling, switching over to the right. Inhaling, drop that right arm, right arm comes over, and let's switch sides again. Left arm coming over, and then exhale that arm down. Inhale, both arms up, reach up towards the sky, lengthen from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown. Flip the palms forward. Let's drop those hands in front of us, and then gently extend through the crown of the head on the in-breath, and then walk the hands slowly forward. Feel that stretch in the hip, and then see if you can feel what it feels like to ground those hips, just pressing them back, maybe taking a wiggle. You could feel a lot of tightness there, and that's okay. Just breathing through the sensations as the tension passes. Inhale, walk the hands all the way back towards you. And let's inhale the arms up again. Exhale, let's float them back down. Take that right hand to the left knee, and then let's take a twist over to the left side. Take that gaze over the shoulder. And slowly unwind, switching sides, left hand to the right knee, right hand comes behind you, taking that twist over to the right side, maybe gazing over the right shoulder, and then slowly unwinding. And then let's switch over to our tabletop position. So I have my blocks here. They're really here just so you guys can see how sometimes we can modify our practice if we need to. Remember, the blocks lift the floor up for us, lifting our body up and opening our body. So if you don't have a set of blocks, they're easy to find, and sometimes they come in a set with a strap. Highly recommend to use the props for your practice. Take a nice deep breath in as you settle the body in your tabletop, stacking the hips over the knees, feet are nice and flat, and the hands are nice and open, gripping the mat. Alright, so from here, let's begin with some movement with the hips. I'm taking those circles, or half circles, however you want to move your hips. Not forgetting to breathe, to use your breath. Draw the hips towards the heels, and then shift forward. So free to move in any way that feels comfortable to you. I'm just your guide, so if there's anything that you want to add in. So we're using our intuition right now to just move the body. If you want to close your eyes, allow them to close. And if you want it to keep open, you can keep them open. So in this moment, through these breaths, allow your body to move however it feels like moving today. And if it doesn't feel like moving, you can come into a child's pose without move and take a resting pose. All up to you and where you are with your body today. Practicing with our heart compassion, keeping our vibrations high by honoring where we are. And then let's come back to center. Take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to drop the belly, get into the spine again as we extend, gazing up towards the sky. Exhale, chin's going to come to chest and you're going to round. And this time we're tucking the tail, pressing the mat away. Inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding in. Let's continue back and forth, extending and flexing in with the breath. And continue back and forth as I tell you a little bit on how this journey has been for me in keeping myself authentic. And it's just been by reaching for what has helped me heal, which is therapeutic yoga. And which is why I practice therapeutic yoga and share therapeutic yoga with others. So if you never thought this was a form of therapy and just fitness exercise, well, it's time to change the perspective. All right, so from here, let's extend that right leg long. Curl the toes under, press the heel back. And then shift the shoulders forward, lift that back leg, flex the foot, bend the knee. And then let's begin to bring some movement into the hip by rotating the leg, the thigh. And then going in the opposite direction. And then extend that leg long, flex the foot, bend the knee. Let's bring that knee to touch the right elbow and then extend. And then let's bring the knee to center, round in, and extend. And then let's bend the knee again and bring it to touch the left elbow. And extend, bend the knee. This time let's stack the hip. Your gaze can change. You don't have to keep looking down at your mat. Just go where your body's going. Body follows the gaze. And then gently bring that leg back. Extend the left side, left leg reaches back. Press the heel back. Inhale, shift the shoulders forward, lift that back leg, flex the foot, bend the knee, and let's bring in some movement. Remember to pull the navel in to support your core. And then extend long again, flex the foot, bend the knee, stack the hip. So that left hip is just gently stacking over the right. And then extend that leg long again, bring the gaze back to center, bend the knee, and bring that knee to touch that left elbow. Extend back, bring the knee to center, round in, extend long, and then bend the knee again to touch the opposite elbow, and extend long again, and then let's come back to our tabletop. All right, so let's bring our hips back and extend our arms forward, coming into a brief child's pose. And then walk the hands back just to stretch the hips out a little bit after that movement. Let's curl the toes under and come into a down dog. And walk the hands to meet your feet, come to a forward fold. Taking some nice deep breaths. You can ragdoll here. Allowing your head to feel heavy, allowing you to release the shoulders and the neck. So just notice if you're holding on to any tension, and just let gravity do the work. Allow your arms to dangle. Sometimes we don't even notice we're holding on to tension. So just bring those awarenesses in. Notice if you are holding your head and allow it to feel heavy. Let's inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms, walk the hands forward, bring the knees down, shift the hips back, brief child's pose. I always say brief because when we go into a child's pose, we expect to stay there. So then walk forward, come back to your tabletop, and let's work on the shoulders. Let's inhale that right arm up, and we're going to flow it through. So we're just going to flow here a few times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, flowing through. Inhale, reach up. 2 more. Inhale, reach high with that right arm. Exhale, reaching underneath that left arm. 1 more time, reach high, and then this time we're going to drop that right shoulder down. And the right temple comes down. Let's extend that left arm long. Breathing nice and deep and just noticing what you feel in your back, in the back of the shoulder. And then option here to move the left hand, either keeping the palm nice and flat in front of you, or you can extend the arm and bring it behind your back to open up that left shoulder. Another option you can do here is you can bring yourself into a little balancing pose by grounding your left hand into the mat and then gently bringing up the opposite leg, well, the left leg up, so supporting the same left side. Pull the navel in. And then bringing that leg back. So you don't have to do that. You can stay right there. Just another option. Inhale, unwind, bring that right arm up to the sky. Exhale, float it back down. All right, so we're going to get into the opposite side. Inhale that left arm high, follow the palm. Exhale, weave it through. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, weave it through. Inhale, extend, open up the heart. Exhale, weave it through. 2 more. Inhaling, reaching, following the palm. Last one. Inhale that left arm up high, and then exhale, weave it through. This time, drop that left shoulder, left temple. Extend that right arm long. And allow yourself to relax into the shoulder. So now that you've stayed here and extended that arm, now you can play around with the movement of that arm and where it feels comfortable for you, or where you may want to experience something different. You can extend that arm again, palm facing behind you or back, and bringing that arm behind you. You can even take a bind, opening up the front of the right shoulder. If that's too intense, always welcome to come back and extend that arm long. And then let's take that little balancing position here, gently extending that right leg long. And then you can bring it back if you want, or you can stay there a little longer until you're ready to come back. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to unwind here. Release that left arm up to the sky and then gently float it back down. All right, let's do hip circles. And then curl the toes under, come back to your down dog. Press the heart towards the thighs. Breathing nice and deep. And then lift the heels high, bend the knees deep, take a nice deep hover. Switch the gaze between the hands, and then begin to walk the hands back towards your feet, coming back to a forward fold. Adjust your feet as needed and take a deep breath and release. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. And then let's root to rise, coming all the way back up, palms touch, and palms come to heart. Inhale, arms rise, reach back, press the hips forward. Exhale, let swan dive down for our forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. Then let's plant the palms, soft bend in the knees, and then bend one knee after the other. And then sometimes what I like to do here to get some movement in the knees is shift my hips down, lift. Heels will lift up, and here I snap, crackle, pop on my knees, which I always do. And then bringing the hips back down again. My knees make a lot of sounds. Inhale, hands on the shins, and exhale, let's plant the palms, walk the hands. And this time, walk the hands underneath your shoulders and come into a plank or modified plank. Let's come all the way down to our bellies. Hands come underneath the shoulders. So option here, I see a lot of people feel comfortable with their feet about hip distance apart, or you can zip the legs up. Hands underneath the shoulders, again, just making sure that they are right where they need to be by drawing that shoulder down. I can see the little fingertips. Tuck the shoulders close to the body, chin to the mat. Take a nice deep breath, all 10 toes press in, hips press in, lift the heart. Tuck the elbows close to the body, reach the heart forward, gaze goes up, and then gently coming all the way down. Bring the left cheek to the mat just to give yourself a quick rest, and then inhale and come back to center. Let's do that again. Press all 10 toes in, inhale, press the hips in, heart reaches forward, gaze up to the sky. If you start to tense up the buttocks, release, and then gently come all the way back down. Now let's extend the arms into a T. And I like to tap my fingers here. Take a nice deep breath and lift the heart. Press it forward and then exhale, come down. Remember, all 10 toes press in as you inhale, lifting the heart and then gently coming back down. Inhale, let's rise again. Exhale, lower down. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. And this time we're going to gently come onto our side body. Coming into a side plank without actually lifting off the floor. Okay, so let's gently lift that left leg up, flex the foot, bend the knee, and gently press. Lower the leg, lift up, flex the foot, bend the knee, and press. And float it all the way back down. And then gently rise, flex, bend, extend, and lower down. Let's switch sides. So just supporting your body, inhale that right leg up, flex the foot, bend, extend, and lower. Lift, flex, bend, extend, and lower. Lift, flex, bend, and extend, and lower. And let's lower back down to our bellies and come into a Sphinx pose. So we're coming to our forearms, fingers, hands are nice and spread wide, fingers wide. Again, we can take this position in a wider stance with our legs, or we can take it with the legs zipped up together. Take a nice deep breath in, extend the heart forward, take the gaze up, leave the chin parallel to the floor, lifting the heart, pressing the heart forward. Gaze can go up to exercise the eyes, and then gently come back. And just release. Inhale, press all 10 toes in, release the buttocks, press the heart forward, lift the gaze, and then come back to center. From here, bend the knees, bring them forward, and come into a child's pose. Nice deep breath in, come back to your tabletop. Curl the toes under. Lift the hips to your down dog. And walk your dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees deep, switch the gaze between the hands, and then lower the heels. Press down into your down dog. Press the heart towards the thighs. Lift the heels again. Switch the gaze between the hands, and then let's walk the feet
To meet our hands, come to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift and root to rise. Come all the way back up. Palms touch and palms come to heart. Inhale, palms rise together. Reach back, press the hips forward. Exhale, forward fold. Release the hands at the bottom of the fold. Bend one knee after the other. Slide the hands to the knees, knee circles. Opposite direction. Slide the hands to the hips, hip circles. And yoga adjustments. Yoga attire. And then go the opposite direction. So go both directions, bending the knees, and coming back to center. Inhale the arms high, reach back. Now let's swan dive down to our forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. Exhale, plant the palm, step back with that right leg, and then bring that right knee down. From here, let's shift the hips back, come to a half split. So this is where you can also bring the blocks in to lift the floor and get into your leg a little bit more easily. Inhale, lengthen through the crown, bring the shoulders back, and then take a bow. Shift forward, bring that knee to stack over the ankle, bracket that front foot. Inhale, we're going to lift that right arm up high. And take a breath here. Take a nice deep breath again and exhale, lower down. This time, curl the toes under, lift that back knee, or option to leave that knee down. Bring that left hand to the instep of that left foot and inhale that right arm up. So a little balancing pose here. And then lower back down. Shift that left hand back to the outside of that left foot. And then this time, we're going to curl the toes under of that back foot, lift that back knee again, and shift back to extend that front leg. Bring the forehead towards the knee. So bend the knee as much as you need to touch the forehead. And sometimes what helps is to press the knee with the forehead. Give yourself a little throat lock. And if the forehead isn't touching like mine is, and please be mindful that it took me a long time for me to touch my forehead to my knee. So if you're not there yet, don't be hard on yourself. You'll get there. It's just a matter of consistency. All right, again, you can bend the knee as much as you need to touch the forehead to the knee, and then gently press back or extend or keep it bent. The benefit is just aiming to make that contact and that throat lock. Strengthen that back leg. And then gently shift forward. Lower that back knee. Foot flat. Inhale that left arm up to the sky. And take some nice deep breaths following that palm. And then release. Bring that left arm down. All right, so we're going to curl the toes under. Gently lift ourselves up. Bring that back foot to meet the front. Come to a forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. Let's root to rise. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring the hands to heart. So just take note here how each side may feel differently. Like your hips may feel tighter on one side. The side that we just did may feel a lot looser. Inhale, palms rise, reach back. Exhale, flip the palms, swan dive down. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. And then plant the palms, step back with that left foot. Plant the knee. left knee foot is flat. Inhale, shift back to your half splits. Inhale, lengthen. Notice how I rounded in. You want to keep that length in the spine. So take a nice deep breath and lengthen, and then exhale, take a nice hinge or bow. And then let's shift forward, knee stacks on top of that ankle, and then we're going to open up to that left side. Again, we can take it into a balancing. And then float that arm down. Bring that right hand to the instep. You can keep that knee up and then gently open up. So bringing in a little twist. And then gently lowering down. That's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more balance. Again, gently shift forward. And then bring that back foot to meet the front. Forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step both feet back, coming to a plank or modified plank. Come to a child's pose. Then inhale, walk the hands towards you. Arms are going to come up and reach up and back. Lift those hips high. And then we're going to sweep down, take a bow. Arms are going to sweep back. Inhale, reach high. Reach back. Exhale, sweep down and back. Inhale, reach high. Back. Exhale, take a bow. 2 more. Inhaling, reaching back up. So good, opening the heart. And then taking that bow. Last one. Inhale, reach high. Reach back. Last bow here. Sweep the arms back. And then come all the way back up. And then flip the palms and float the hands to your hips. All right, so we're going to do a little abductor stretch, which is that muscle right in the groin area. And I noticed that a lot of us have very tight abductors, so including myself. So let's extend that right leg out. And where I found my students had a little bit of confusion with this position was be mindful of the foot. So the foot is parallel to your mat. So the toes are pointing forward, and that's going to make a big difference in what you feel in this stretch. Also, keeping the foot nice and grounded is also going to make a difference, because if you lift, that's going to feel differently. If you have the foot out, it's going to feel differently. So again, bring the foot to face forward. And then from here, we're going to gently begin to hinge. Bring the arms in front of you and shift the hips back. Now, as you shift back, you can adjust the leg to take yourself where you feel the stretch in the thigh, in the inner thigh. So play with that sensation. Sometimes people say that they're not feeling it, but it might just be a little play of movement until you feel that stretch, or you might feel it right away. Nice deep breaths here. Now, option, you can either rest your head on a block and allow the body to drape, or you can bring the body down. But that does change the intensity. Last breath here. And then gently walk the hands back. Bring that right leg back and switch sides. So that left leg is going to extend out laterally. I want my foot to grip the floor so it doesn't slip. All right, so now that we have our leg extended, we're going to shift the hips back, and notice you might feel it there.
So shift the hips back as far as you feel comfortable, and then you can begin to settle into the stretch. Again, one side might feel tighter than the other. Use a bit of strength in the leg and tone the leg so then you can really feel your muscles working. Let them say hello to you, but use your breath. It's uncomfortable, so that's where we use our breath to move through the discomfort. It's not pain, it's just stretching discomfort because we're not used to stretching and holding stretches. So when we find that tension in a muscle, it's not a great feeling, but afterwards you feel great. So it can feel intense. Work through that tension, but ease off. Don't push that tension. So you find your gentle edge, because it's when you pass that gentle edge where you can actually injure yourself. I've actually ripped and bruised a hamstring before, thinking that, I can do that. And that was at the beginning of my journey and a lesson learned. All right, so from here, let's walk the hands back. Bring that leg back. Come into a tabletop and release the tension through the hips by moving in circles, hip circles. Bring the hips back, shift them forward, shift them back. Take a down dog, curl the toes under, lift the hips high. Walk the dog, give a little release to those inner thighs. Press the heart towards the thighs. Soft bend in the knees, or bend the knees deeply, lift the heels high, and take a hover. All right, so we're going to do another kind of stretch here. We're going to bring that right leg across the body and shift forward and back. And then shift back, and then bring that leg back. Left leg crosses over, and I'm resting my foot on its outer edge, or you can take it flat, just depends on what you want to feel, and then I'm shifting back. Shift forward, shift back until you find your sweet spot, and then bring it back. Nice downward facing dog again. Lift the heels high, shift the gaze, bring the knees down, and bring the hips down towards the heels. Walk your hands back, and then come into hero pose. Curl the toes under, bring the hands to your thighs, and allow your body weight to gently give the soles of your feet a little stretch, your toes, and you can pulse just like I'm doing, or just going in and sitting down and then gently adjusting my weight. So in this practice, if you want to continue to feel this kind of stretch, you can do this on your own time and just stay here for a few minutes, and you'll notice the discomfort, again, using your breath to move through the discomfort of the stretch. And then let's release there, shift the hands in front of you, and then shift the hips to one side, and let's swing the legs around. Gently release the legs, and then let's bring that right leg over the left thigh. Let's bring that right hand behind us. Take an inhale, that left arm's going to come up, and the elbow's going to come across the body, and you're going to take that gentle twist over to the right side. Maybe you want to extend the arm down, or keep it up, or just hug the knee in. That's okay too. You can flex that left foot or leave it relaxed. And then gently, slowly twist back around and switch sides. Left leg over that right thigh. And then again, that left arm's going to come behind you to support your back. Inhale that right arm high. Bring that elbow in front of that left knee, and then you can adjust and take your twist. Again, you can open up or you can hug it in. Taking the gaze over the left shoulder. And releasing slowly. Bring that right hand behind you, release the legs, bend both knees, and flop side to side. Hands come beside you. Scoot your bottom forward so you know you land on the mat. And then we're going to take a little balancing here. So actually, I'm going to scoot back a little bit more. So we're going to reach forward, going into a modified boat pose as we begin to tap our feet. So lean back, reach forward, pull the navel in, begin to tap so you can play with the balance. Or you can begin to balance by lifting your legs, maybe taking them as far as you want. And breathe. Gently bring the legs back down parallel to the floor if you've lifted them high. And then allow your feet to come back to the mat. Release, shift around, shift forward, and then reach forward, lean back again, and you're going to come all the way down. So ground those feet in. If they feel like they want to lift off the mat, ground them in, use your core, come all the way down. Head comes down last. And bring the knees to the chest, give them a nice tight squeeze. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. And then extend that left leg, squeeze that right knee in, and then guide that knee towards the right shoulder. And then bend that left leg, bring that right ankle across the knee, do a little 4 shape of the number 4. And we're not going to get into pigeon pose, full pigeon pose. Just gently press on the inner right thigh or knee to gently press the leg away to open or feel that stretch in that right hip. Then bring that leg back. Squeeze in as you extend that left leg long. Extend that right leg long. Arms over the head, full body stretch. And then reach for that left knee, bring that to chest, flex both feet, and then guide that knee towards the left shoulder. Bend that right leg, that right knee, and then bring that left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Allow that knee to just fall open, flexing the foot. Releasing full body stretch. Option here to bring the legs up to the sky or take your happy baby. Reaching for the outsides of the feet, or I like to peace finger my toes, and allow yourself to rock side to side. So there's lots of variations of happy baby. People like to grab to the outsides of the feet. It's just fine. Sometimes I see people grabbing the insides or the insides of the legs. So it all depends on where you want to hold on to,
where you want to feel what you're going to feel, and where your comfort is with your legs and your hip openers, or how your hips are open. Let's bring the legs back together, reach up to the sky, arms by your side. All right, so here we're going to use our core again, pull the navel in, and really grip the mat as you begin to lower the legs down slowly without lifting the upper body. Lower all the way down. All right, full body stretch. Reach over the head with your arms. And then a banana stretch. Let's walk the feet to the left side. And then walk the arms to the left side for a right side body stretch. Walk to center and then walk to the opposite side. You can even cross that left leg over the right or not. And then gently walk yourself back. Give a nice squeeze, knees into chest. And then allow your legs to release, or you can gently fluff your knees back and forth to release the lower back. And then allow yourself to extend your legs so you can find your final resting pose, Shavasana, so we can come into a place of final relaxation, absorption, and integration. All the benefits of this practice. Mind, body, and soul, allowing yourself to settle, breathing normally, maybe tucking the shoulders underneath the body. And bringing yourself into that place of gratitude where you own your authenticity. This is your journey. No one else is going to experience it like you. Shavasana. Beginning to bring gentle movement back by wiggling your toes and your fingers. And then gently shifting over to your left side and taking a gentle fetal pose, or maybe cradling your head or grounding your third eye. And then gently pressing yourself back up to seated. Joining me with your hands at the heart center. Closing your eyes or keeping them closed. Join me in bringing your prayer hands up to your third eye as a reminder to think kind thoughts and allowing for the divine to guide us through our thoughts. In front of our lips is a reminder to speak kind words and allowing the divine to lead our words. And then back down to our hearts is a reminder to live life with love, joy, inner strength, lots of courage, and lots of grace. From my heart to yours, together we say Namaste.